Christmas is a time of excitement and joy, a time of traditions both old and new. The most common tradition is that of Santa Claus, who visits well-behaved children on Christmas Eve night and leaves them presents. But there is a more sinister character who accompanies Santa, a figure of punishment to naughty children, Krampus. The Krampus is a horned human-like figure who during the Advent season scares children who have misbehaved. The creature assists Santa Claus, and the couple visit children on the night of the 5th of December. Santa rewards well-behaved children with gifts such as oranges, dried fruit, walnut and chocolates, while Krampus punishes the badly behaved ones by whipping them with birch rods. Although Krampus appears in many variations, most share some common physical characteristics. He is hairy, usually brown or black, and has the cloven hooves and horns of a goat. His long, pointed tongue lolls out, and he has fangs. In some tales, Krampus carries chains which he thrashes for dramatic effect. The chains are sometimes accompanied with bells of various sizes. Sometimes Krampus appears with a sack or a basket strapped to his back. This is to cart off evil children for drowning, eating, or transporting to hell. The origins of Krampus is unclear. Some folklorists have proposed that it may have pre-Christian origins, stretching back to Alpine traditions dating back to the 6th or 7th century AD. Europeans have been exchanging greeting cards featuring Krampus since the 19th century, sometimes introduced with greetings from Krampus. The cards usually have humorous rhymes and poems. Krampus is often featured looming menacingly over children. He is also shown as having one human foot and one cloven hoof. The feast of St. Nicholas is celebrated in parts of Europe on the 6th of December. On the preceding evening of the 5th, known as Krampus Night, the wicked hairy devil appears on the streets, sometimes accompanying St. Nicholas and sometimes on his own. Krampus visits homes and businesses. Krampus appears in the folklore of many countries: Austria, Bavaria, Bosnia, Croatia, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Romania, Northern Italy, Slovakia and Slovenia are to name a few. In Styria, a bundle of thin sticks known as the root is presented by Krampus to families. The twigs are painted gold and displayed all year round in the house, a reminder to any child who has temporarily forgotten Krampus. In similar, more isolated villages, the figure has other beastly companions, such as the antlered wild man figures, and St. Nicholas is nowhere to be seen. A toned-down version of Krampus is part of the popular Christmas markets in Austrian urban centres, like Salzburg. In these more tourist-friendly interpretations, Krampus is more humorous than fearsome. Krampus has been imported into popular culture and has appeared in movies, TV shows and games. The legend of Hans Trapp is well known in the French regions of Alsace and Lorraine. His tale has been used as a lesson to be learned in what happens when you stray from God, turn to the devil, and become obsessed with wealth and power. Hans Trapp lived in the 1400s and was a rich and powerful noble. He was renowned as being merciless and was feared by the people who lived in Alsace. Hans was an ambitious man and grew obsessed with power. In order to aggrandise his position, he started making deals with the devil and eventually sold his soul. The Catholic Church found out about Hans' dealings with the devil and excommunicated him. As a result, he was shunned from his community. Hans was then banished, stripped of his titles, lands and money. Hans took to living in the mountains of Bavaria, Germany, and dedicated himself to practicing black magic and the occult. The lack of food and visitation of wicked spirits drove him to madness, and Hans began obsessing for revenge on those who had wronged him. One day he stuffed his clothing with straw and disguised himself as a scarecrow and stood by a roadside. A 10-year-old boy from the local village walked by, and Hans seized his chance, subduing and stabbing him. He then took the body back to his mountain lair, where he sliced the boy into tiny pieces and cooked his flesh. However, before he could eat, he was struck with a divine lightning bolt. Depending on which version you read, he hits his head on a rock and dies when he fell, or there's another version where the bolt of lightning bursts his head open. Today his spirit lingers, and he lives on dressed as a scarecrow. Because Hans is stuck in this sort of purgatory, he works with Santa Claus to earn redemption by punishing naughty children. Hans is used as a warning to children to be good, or he will use his scarecrow disguise to carry the naughty children off to the dark forest, never to be seen again. When people hear the name Hans Trap, they think of a cannibalistic Christmas scarecrow instead of the noble knight that he once was. The Yule Lads are a group of 13 mischievous pranksters who steal from or otherwise harass the population. All have descriptive names that generally convey their favourite way of causing mischief. They arrive one by one over the final 13 nights leading up to Yule. They leave small gifts in shoes that children place on windowsills, but if the child has been disobedient, they leave a rotten potato in the shoe instead. According to legend, the Yule Lads are the sons of a troll named Grilla. The Yule Lads' troll heritage hints at a more sinister origin and were portrayed by Jon Arneson, not as gift givers but as kidnappers of children who misbehave during the Christmas season, along with their usual trickster activities. They are generally portrayed wearing late medieval Icelandic clothing, but are sometimes shown in the costume traditionally worn by Santa Claus, especially at children's events. They arrive throughout the last 13 nights before Christmas, beginning on the 12th of December. One then departs each day, beginning on Christmas Day, in order that they arrived. Thus, each of them stays for 13 days. Each of the 13 Yule Lads has their own personality which reflects in their name, such as Pot Licker, who steals unwashed pots and licks them clean; Door Slammer, who stomps around and slams doors keeping everyone awake; Window Peeper, who likes to creep outside windows and sometimes steal the stuff he sees inside; and Candle Beggar, who steals candles, which used to be sought after item in Iceland. The Yule Lads first appeared around the 17th century and displayed some variation based on region and age. Nowadays, they are cast as generous gift givers with just a side of troublemaking.